Welcome to Raising Happy and Thriving Gifted Kids, a daily podcast where you get relatable stories, interesting lessons, and practical tips to help your kids thrive and be happy while enjoying your own life even more. Because I was bullied so much, I became a chameleon. I learned to shift colors, shift shape, shift whoever I was to please the people who were around me. And that actually has become a pretty profound question for me. Like, where is the balance? Because I don't think anybody should change who they are to be with other people. What I do think is that you should find a way to connect with other people, to find the part of yourself that interfaces with other people, that connects with other people. And that doesn't require you changing yourself, but finding a part of yourself and then exploring the other person and finding a part of that person and seeing how you can connect. And don't spend a lot of time with people that you have a hard time connecting with. So I did a training program, a coaching program, and one of the coaches there was a wonderful person, Shannet, and she really taught me something pretty profound because she came from brand and identity management. Like, this was her thing. She was a branding advisor. She would go into companies and help them to develop, their personal brands and their corporate brands and stuff like that. So she took that with her to our coaching practice, and we were having a training session, and we had to coach each other. And so in that process, actually, we shifted from that being a corporate, thought or a corporate concept to a personal concept. And one of the main models she shared that will kind of always stay with me. She said, whenever you're talking about branding, there's a difference between your identity and your image. Your identity is everything that you are. Imagine like this large circle, like a rug in your living room. That's a large area. Those are encompassing all the parts of who you are. But you're not always all the parts of who you are. So we kind of highlight a part of ourselves in specific places. So if I look at this week, 2 days ago, I had to be like an independent chairman of some complicated meeting. So, I wore a nice shirt and everything. And, today I had mostly internal meetings. So I wore a nice sweater I got from my kids, for Father's Day. And this morning I was doing a CrossFit workout. So I was wearing my, I'm wearing my CrossFit gear stuff. And these are all parts of my identity. I am a CrossFit athlete and love doing that. I am, a father who's proud of the sweater I've gotten. And I am the guy who loves to dress up in a nice shirt. Although there are limits to that as well, because I will not wear, a formal tie. I think those are like a noose that, they should use at the gallows. So what you constantly have to figure out is like what fits within my identity. So a nice shirt fits within my identity, but then, the tie does not. So when you talk about changing and connecting, when I would change, I would, go wear a tie, being deeply uncomfortable and actually not recognizing myself as myself. But, wearing the nice shirt, the one that I like, the blue one, like that is a part of me that I can very happily and proudly walk around in. Although I do kind of like, as a side note, do the Obama thing. Have you ever seen Obama? He walks in like with a nice jacket and the shirt and everything. But then as he starts talking, he first takes his coat off and then he starts, wrapping up his sleeves or rolling up his sleeves. And in the end, he's wearing like a nice shirt with rolled up sleeves. So I kind of come in with rolled up sleeves, but it feels to me like I'm doing an Obama. But that's an aside. So where is your identity? Like, what are all the parts of yourself? And how can you create an image or find an image that can interface with the people you want to interface with, that can connect with other people? Because some people kind of like go into this, anti-conventionalist mode of showing that you're doing stuff to not fit in and on purpose wearing stuff that people will disapprove of. And if you like that, by all means, go ahead. But if you want to connect to people, then find a way to connect within your identity and maybe even stretch up your identity, but don't change. Don't go outside of your identity and create an image that does not fit with your identity, because people will see that, people will notice that, but most of all, you will notice that. you will be unhappy because you're playing a role that you do not want to play. And that in the end does not make you happy. So, what do you think of this concept of identity versus image and the difference between changing yourself or connecting to others and interfacing to them? Curious what your thoughts are and how you apply this in your own life. If you liked this episode of Raising Happy and Thriving Kids, don't forget to subscribe to the podcast in your favorite podcast software. And if you want to dive deeply into all the things you can do to help your kids thrive, be happier while making your own life more enjoyable, go to smartparenting.secrets.com, where you can get free additional training. Hope you enjoyed this episode, and as always, bring out the best in yourself and each other.